Let me show you some of the chords. You know, I just hit 4 random keys on my keyboard and I just made a chord progression that sounded pretty fire. That's how easy it is. Doesn't it suck when you're trying to make a jazzy beat or a soul beat or even an anime style beat, but there's only one problem. You don't know how to write chords or chord progressions that cater to that particular genre or style. For now, let's just be grateful that chord generators exist. If it's your first time hearing that word, a chord generator, it's exactly what the name implies. It's a tool used to automatically create chords or chord progressions. There are a lot of them available offline. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. But recently, I found a plugin version of a chord generator, and not only is it free, but it also allows you to add third-party, genre-specific chord preset packs. Now let me show you what plugin I'm talking about. So this is Ripchord by Trackbout, and it's a chord generator used for creating and remixing chords and chord progressions. You can create chords from scratch and add it as a preset, import other third-party preset packs, and even MIDI files containing chord progressions, or chords. But that's not the unique thing about Ripchord. Ripchord lets you map multiple output notes to a single input note. So just by the press of one key, you can play a full chord. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. When you load up Ripchord, you can see 2 keyboards in front of you, an output keyboard and an input keyboard. So first of all, let's start from the very beginning, how to load in Ripchord. It's a little bit more complicated than you think, or not complicated, but it's not as easy as it is. First off, what you have to do is load your favored piano plugin of your choice. For me, I have the organic piano, I have the felt preset loaded in, and let's just leave it at that. Second, let's load up the Ripchord. When you just open it up and play it, you can see that there are no sounds, but you can also see that whatever key you click on your MIDI keyboard, that specific key lights up in the input and output, showing you that the input and output keyboards are connected. Now here's what you need to do to get sound. First, go to your piano plugin, and on the top left corner, you can see the settings icon. Click that. And in this setting, I want you to go down to this MIDI section and put the input port as 1. Just scroll up until 1 shows up. And that's all you're going to do here. Now we're going to close the organic piano, open Ripchord, go to the same place, click the gear, click the second icon. But this time when you go to the MIDI section, go to output port and also scroll up until you get 1. It doesn't matter what number it is. All you have to do is make sure that both the plugins are on the same port. And now you can see there's sound. So what you're basically doing is routing the main piano plugin through this plugin before it goes into the mixer. But anyway, that's how you set it up. Once you set this up, there are 2 things you can do. You can either start editing and creating your own chords, or you can open up a chord preset sample pack. But this is how you edit a chord. First, click on the edit button, and now we have to start mapping keys. And this is how you do it. I will click the C note. And then I will go to the output chord and make whatever chord I want. And that particular chord in the output that I've made will be mapped to that single C note in the input section. So I'm going to click this, this, and that. And now it's been mapped. So if I click on the C note on my MIDI keyboard, it plays the C major chord. And you can also name it. I'll name this C, and I'll name the output C major. And like that, you've created your first mapped chord. And to save it, all you have to do is click on this down arrow right there, and it's been saved. And if you go to your presets, you can see that the C is right there. And if you click that, it'll automatically load up. But I would say that editing feature is for more professional musicians, people who actually know what they're doing, how to make chords, all the scales and stuff like that. I'm not one of those musicians, and most of you watching this video, I know you aren't either, but that's exactly why Ripchord is so important. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Ripchord lets you load in chord preset packs. I'll show you how. Go to the settings tool on the right side of this plugin. Go down until you see import a preset file. Now, when you download Ripchord, it's going to come with its own preset pack. Once you have it loaded up, go to the presets section and you will see all of these. All of these are available for you. So let's click on the major key C and see what it is. So these highlighted keys represent the C major scale, and each note will be mapped to a specific chord in the C major scale in the output section. That's what we did earlier, C major. you have the full C major at your disposal. This is a great way to learn the shapes of chords, the names of chords, and to add on to chords and make them sound more flavorful. Did you just see how easy it was to make a chord progression? I just have to hold down single notes. And I remember in the beginning of the video where I mentioned that you might be interested in making a jazz beat or a soul beat or an anime style beat or whatever, but you wouldn't know how the chord progressions go or the chords because you can't just make any chord progression for those specific styles. They have to have that certain flavor, the certain sauce. Now to help you in that, a fellow lo-fi friend of mine named Dark Winter, he has created his own custom chord preset pack to help you with those genres. First off, let me show you the sample pack. Now I've already imported the pack into Ripchord. He's provided the specific chords that you need to create all of these genres: anime lo-fi, boom bap, chill jazz, chill lo-fi, contemporary R&B, almost every style of lo-fi in particular. Let's take chill jazz. Let me show you some of the chords. You know, I just hit 4 random keys on my keyboard and I just made a chord progression that sounded pretty fire. That's how easy it is. I love how they clearly state the chord shape and the chord name. Let's check out another genre. Anime lo-fi, one of my favorites. Boom bap. So now that I've showed you what Ripchord is, I'm gonna make a beat from scratch using this. I've been having such a creative block for the past 2-3 weeks, and I think this tool came to me at the right time. Suddenly I'm getting ideas now. So hopefully I can make something good. So let's see what I can do. 70 BPM, I'm gonna go with the boom bap. I wanna make a nice, upbeat, classic, old school boom bap lo-fi beat. So I made a little cuts in between the notes. I wanted to have a little bit of a sample chop feeling. The chord progression sounds amazing, but I think it's a little too slow to be exactly like the beat that I envisioned. So let's make it 75 and see. $80? Is that too much? Obviously, to get that boom bap sound, we need to add like a lo-fi plugin. Now I need a groovy bass. I think I have just the bass in mind. I made a video last week about a very special free plugin, and they had a really cool bass. Yeah, this is the plugin I'm talking about, the Vaults Amp Bass. Now, what I usually do with my basses is just follow the chord progression of the piano, but this plugin, the Ripchord, makes it a little difficult for that because I don't have the bass notes to copy. Yeah, this is the bass that I got. Pretty groovy, but you know, it would make more sense for you to do it after you make a drum pattern. That would make making the groove of the bass a little bit more easier, as long as it has something to follow like a drum pattern. I'm stupid sometimes, so don't do what I just did. It's just a little bit more difficult than it has to be. So together, now let's make a drum pattern. Something I should have done in the beginning, but it's okay. Cymbal loops might be good. Brush loop. I'm just gonna layer this thing and make it as groovy as possible. There's stereo delay on the right side. So I wanted to make the drum sound a little bit more lo-fi, so I've routed all the individual drum sounds to a drum bus. And I'm just gonna add my trusty tape mellify, and I'm just gonna lower the filter a little bit more until it sounds perfect to me. I think one more lead on top of this is gonna be perfect. So before I show you the final beat, I just want to let you guys know, if you like that preset pack that I used by Dark Winter, I'll leave a link to it in the bio so you can go check it out. It's important to announce that the first 50 people that buy the preset pack will get it for $29, as well as having a one-on-one session with Dark Winter himself, where he can review and give you feedback on any of your songs. You'll also be invited to join his private Discord server, so he'll definitely have some valuable feedback for you to step up your lo-fi game. So if you feel like you're having a hard time creating chord progressions and chords which cater to a particular genre or a style, I highly suggest you go for the sample pack. Also, obviously, get this freaking plugin. Ripchord is absolutely amazing. With that being said, I hope you like and subscribe if you like this video. And yeah, this is the full beat, and I'll see you next week.